Folks, when we take a look at the situation right here in Europe, I think we see a powder keg. We see something that could explode any minute, and quite frankly, we might be the ones to set the fire. We are currently here as the South German Federation in 1875, and we are now a valid candidate for the unification of Germany. Now, I gotta tell you, our focus here has never truly been on forming Germany, rather it has been to be independent, to be the third Germany, and we have succeeded in this. But our newly founded republic is now regarded as basically one of the unification candidates, and quite frankly regards itself as one of the unification candidates as well. I took a look at this, of course, between episodes, and I said to myself, do you focus on Prussia or Austria-Hungary? Prussia is 100% going to focus on us, if only for the reason that, well, we are a unification candidate, and their unified Germany strategy will definitely make us their target. But I took a look around, I looked at Austria-Hungary, I examined, of course, for example, that South German is now very much interested in porcelain, as you can see, and that we have a lower turmoil in South German culture than is the average. And so I said to myself, wait a minute, why are people so angry? And I clicked here, and my god, I found out what is going on in Vienna. Look at these laborers, all of which are unemployed, all of which are starving at a standard of living of 1. My goal, at the very least, my assumed goal, whether it's going to work out or not, be that as it may, we have to see where it goes, is, I think, to dismantle Austria-Hungary for good. If we can claim these South German territories, maybe even including Bohemia and Moravia, we would be looking at a situation where we take control of all of the South German people, and Austria-Hungary, a state that no longer is interested in Germany, would no longer exist. Now, let's see whether we can do this. I think we might be able to beat them, but I am rather cautious on this. Oh, right, and this is actually a pivot that we have to think through a bit more. Austria-Hungary just, declared our trade agreement null and void, which ultimately means, yep, we are deep in the red when it comes to our bureaucracy. Quite frankly, I'm gonna go ahead and just schedule some bureaucracy buildings. Let's say here in Württemberg, they are deeply unemployed because basically I took all of their arable land away, and now anybody that spawns in it, anybody that is born in that area, has a bad time. So, now that we don't have a trade deal anymore, we need to pivot our trade. You can see that we actually do have access to the British market, which is a huge boon for us, because this means that ideally we can now pivot towards the British and the French market instead of what we've done so far, the Prussian and the Austrian market. I'm gonna go ahead and basically, honestly, I might just embargo Austria-Hungary, but I think we need to go ahead first and make sure that we get rid of the red here as much as we can. Yeah, we need to get rid of everything that we can when it comes to the trade routes that we have with Austria-Hungary here. They are an enemy, and I assume that Prussia is very soon going to cancel our trade agreement as well, and we just cannot sustain that. Even if for a short time this should influence our economy. If it means that we can get the pivot done, the pivot of course towards our other new friends, then that would be ideal. Oh, okay, so there are two interesting things here now as well. The American-French rivalry has been declared. We already do have a rival. I'm not interested in the US becoming a rival, but I will tell you that France being preoccupied with somebody else would be ideal. You are still rivaling me, indeed you are. Okay, so we're gonna ignore this, but this right here, Prussian-British rivalry declared, that is great for us. I'm going to enhance our relationship with Britain in the hope that we can maybe get 1 or 2 allies here. We definitely want to work with the West rather than the other German states, since we want to become the true hegemon of this place. Alright, and we have just passed protected speech. That is pretty good, gives us technology spread, nothing wrong with that. See, I'm thinking, we might at some point move away here. I'm not going to do this because, as I said, our republic is very much German-minded. We are not happy that Austria-Hungary has turned towards its own empire rather than Germany as a whole, so I think national supremacy actually makes the most sense. Professional army sounds decent to me. We might move towards public health insurance, but you know what? Why don't we simply, let's get the kids out of the mines. We are, of course, led by the trade unions. This makes a lot of sense. It's going to agitate the petite bourgeoisie, the landowners, and the industrialists beyond belief, but sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do to, be in a position where the kids are no longer dying in the mines. So, let's get this done. Oh, and would you look at that, actually? We are quite close to the Prussian economic potential. They did lose their market here, basically. I mean, we tore, of course, ourselves, the entire south here, out of their sphere. But then the entire north is also absent to, the Prussian market. And that means that their GDP is only 52 million. Yes, they have 25 million population, whereas we only have 13.5, but we're only 10 million behind them in GDP. I'm very positive that we can outpace them. It's just that currently we're definitely significantly behind when it comes to the military capabilities that we have. Alright, let's make a decision here as well what we focus on as a nation when it comes to technology. You can see that we're doing quite well when it comes to production technology, and the upcoming ones don't really do much for us. I mean, pump jacks and all that stuff, we just don't have oil. Electricity could be incredibly useful, but again, that is a massive shift in the economy, and maybe we can't focus on that. And by the way, my god, weekly innovation of 165.33 cap. That is insane. That is a massive value right here. It's very interesting, playing with an incredibly high literacy country that isn't tiny. We have worked quite a bit with decrease, increasing our literacy rate and qualification access, and my god, it's really paying off, including here for the technology spread. You can see it is bound, of course, by literacy. Ignore this. This is just because we're currently not researching anything, and then protected speech are just adding a whole lot. What we are going to do is, I think, we're going to go deeper into the military tech. I would like, if we could pick up some bonuses right here. Conscriptable battalions. I don't think we're gonna be conscripting. Ooh, I should now actually have access to opium. If we go ahead and establish a trade agreement with the British, then we should definitely be able to actually run a much tighter ship when it comes to our war wounded. So we're gonna get this, then we're gonna get the hand-cranked machine guns, and maybe, you know what, why don't we try to push for this? This is 15 years away, but that is just because we have queued so much. Yeah, let's focus on military right here. It should probably pay off. And here we have an event because we weren't able to just pass it in the first attempt. Pen and paper. The enactment of compulsory primary school has come to a halt due to some public protests. Many people are families that lack the purchasing power to meet the expenses that buying new school supplies imply, thus preventing their children from scholarization. Listen, no parent would try to stop their children from getting a better future than the one they'll be getting here. But if I need to make a decision, and that decision is between buying bread and buying some pen and ink, I'd say that ain't no fair decision. I gotta tell you, I think this is fairly rare. And by the way, let's just examine this. I know that many people here are saying, hey, you should definitely get Hohenzollern as soon as possible. It's a thorn in our side, it's terrible. I gotta tell you right now, this is a business expense. I don't, you know, we're just gonna ignore this for the time being. Now, pen and paper, wealth cannot be a prohibiting factor. I think that is absolutely how we are driven in this republic. And now we're slightly negative again. You hate to see it, but it's better than, you know, not passing this. Oh, and I almost forgot about this, but now that we are in a position where I can actually be counted as a unification candidate, if we add Frankfurt and Saxe-Weimar into our customs union, we could annex them. Now, I won't annex you because this looks... Wait a minute. Maybe I should annex you. They have sulfur. Oh my god. Okay. Maybe I'm gonna annex both of you. First of all, what we're gonna do is we're definitely going to get you into our customs union, even if it means that I owe you. Man, the borders would look hideous, but I gotta be honest with you, like, I like the idea that we're now actually capable of absorbing North German miners as well, since we have pan-nationalism and are a candidate. So, you know what, let's do it. Oh, and there they already are. Confederation with Frankfurt. And let me just ask you, right, how are you doing here? Well, not too hot. Yeah, you don't have any German market access. Are they downsizing buildings, I wonder? I'm not seeing anything right here, but I'm definitely gonna annex you. I can't downsize anything until the day that our revolution goes away. But I'll be honest with you, I will obviously incorporate this. Should be nothing wrong with that. I'm just looking at this. Yeah, we need to downsize a bunch of buildings here, I think. Oh my god, they have 9 levels of railway. Well, technically I can get you to run quite well, I guess. This is certainly an experience, huh? Alright, now with this one, I'm not too sure. I think we're just gonna let this one go. We could annex them, and surely, yes, they... do indeed have sulfur mines, but they're already fully employing them. They're building more. They got awful tech, though. You know what? No, you gotta stay where you are, okay? I'm sorry to tell you this, but that border, Frankfurt is okay. It just works. This doesn't. And oh god, they flipped. They're only cautious now. Soon, I think, they're going to start agitation against us. Are they in this? No, they're just looking at this. Oh my god. France wants to subjugate Sweden. Makes a lot of sense. It would give them control over the entire Baltic Sea right here. And nobody seems to be willing to jump into this. I mean, it is what it is, right? I'm more concerned by Prussia. Because this means, yeah, we are surrounded by enemies at the end of the day. And oh yeah, we now have yet another big shift. This makes perfect sense. You can see that the compulsory primary school reform has not worked out for us. Maybe it will work out, you know. I think I'll give it one more sort of tick here. Other than that, we might cancel it, and we seem to be getting a bit of a shift in focus. Let's see. The SPD has fallen apart. The Agrarian League has now been founded instead. They are now a moderate. Okay. The Progress Party is standing its ground, I guess. And then we have the Petite Bourgeoisie. Man, we are sort of seeing a bit of a splintered republic. And there you go. That is, I like this event a lot because I am a person that goes very heavily into debt if it is necessary for, you know, the build-up that I want to do. And you can see I'm currently building up the army a little bit, which is also acting as a bit of a, you know, sort of employment program for Württemberg. But now all of a sudden the economy is looking not too hot, and people are saying maybe this is because of the leadership of the workers. Maybe we stretched it too far. Maybe we were too rash in our reforms. Find a scapegoat. The public demands a sacrifice. Joachim Stolzer, the current leader of the trade unions, who is a social democrat, might be blamed with this. And currently he's a 10. Okay, not too bad, not too great. Only a 10. We're looking at a situation where he could be deeply negative, and that means the trade union power that currently is just so incredibly strong, 34.8%, could falter. You know, I do see a lot of people saying, oh, in the current patch you can't get the trade unions to be powerful. No, you can. I hope you see this right here. It's just that if you play this in a way where the worker doesn't have any money, then yeah, they're not going to be powerful. If you don't have elections, they're not going to be powerful. For us, they are a massive factor. But maybe that will be a thing of the past. You know what? Find a scapegoat. The public demands a sacrifice. Let's see how that will impact them long term. I think a lot of people might leave them behind and move instead into more, you know, progressive and agrarian territories. Oh, and during the election, we actually passed it. Can you believe that? We actually passed compulsory primary school. I thought it would cancel it because we've been so unsuccessful. But all of a sudden, we could technically push this up. And I really like this idea of this incredibly progressive, you know, society and republic that still very much cares for the Catholic Church. I'm gonna up this further. Absolutely. Alright, now let's take a look. You can see the SPD still won, but closely followed by others, which means that Joachim Stolzer will technically be the rightful president. Now we're gonna see a man. I guess that we will persist, that this government is the one to stay here. But maybe as soon as they stop this revolution, when they stop that revolution, we can form a different government. Even now, I could technically form a government against the trade unions, but I'm going to keep them here as they are right now. And after this dissipates, we're going to take a look at a government formation that maybe sees an end to the trade union supremacy. Just look at this cloud. My god, they got annihilated. Alright, so I'll have you know that I haven't changed our government. As you can see, there just isn't any more legitimate one. I think we might go more conservative. I mean, it depends heavily on the actual election results, but after the next election rather than immediately. What I can do, and I think this is very fitting to the idea of mobilizing the entire nation in the name of Germany, is sort of abide by this. Enact mass conscription. Now, it's obviously bad for the additional morale loss right here, but it gives us a massive boost when it comes to conscription centers, and maybe that's not necessarily a bad idea. I'm going to go ahead, I think, and I'm actually just going to do this. Sure, let's pass this. Nothing wrong with this. Sure, a part of the government is against this, but that is probably why these two groups have split. I wonder whether the rural folk are going to join anything else, maybe the Progress Party. You can see already that the industrialists are going to switch over to the Free Conservative Party. It's an interesting political landscape at the very least. Oh, and thank God we finally got the Swiss obligation, and it's actually not gonna be enough. Oh, because they switched to cautious. That is... We got scammed. We just got scammed. Listen, we just need to wait for them to re-roll, you know, whenever they do it, and then we can finally invite them into our customs union. Man, we have actually given them so much money, it's insane. Alright folks, the new election results are in and they are crazy. We do no longer have a social democratic party. They simply did not have enough power, and that leaves us with this. Wow, we have a massive progressive party now, a massive agrarian party, and we can pull those together. The trade unions have basically faltered. They lost their support after, well, Joachim Stolzer here became incredibly disliked, and that means that we now have a Johann von Göritz government. You may remember him. Johann von Göritz was a hero. He aided us in achieving what needed to be done. And I'll be honest with you, I will take this as basically meaning only one thing. We're gonna pass this, and then it is time for war. And there you are. That is how fast it can go sometimes. We now have a significant increase of troops, and I think we should be using them. I need you to take a look at this man. Johann von Göritz, now that he has made a comeback, is in a good position, but he is also a true and tried radical. He has fought against the king, he has unified the South German Federation, and now we need to look towards the future. And man, that future definitely will take a lot more in battalions than what we had previously. Now, not too many things changed beyond this. You can see that France did actually get Sweden and Norway. What an absolute masterstroke. And then at the same time, our actual market access to the British market was interrupted. But all of this aside, I think we can succeed here if we keep it together. I want to highlight something, okay? This man is a pious man that doesn't want to get rid of the church. This is what I said, this is the way it works, right? He's also a firebrand, a celebrity commander, and an expert political operator. I think for the last year after, you know, his government took over, he has rallied the people of the South German Federation behind himself against Austria-Hungary. Here is how I see this. At some point, okay, we're going to return to the Promote Social Mobility Decree. I definitely want to keep this going. But what we need to realize right now, I think, is simply put the fact that we need money. And this money will allow us to get the full glory of everything that is South German under control. We will have an absolutely insane tax regime. Our standard of living may go down, but trust me when I say it is all temporary. We are doing this so that the barracks, so that our nation can rise up beyond what you might think possible. And that is, by the way, basically what he tells his people. Be ready for the hard times, because only then will we be able to get the good times going. Austria-Hungary is our primary target, and we are almost prepared to get going. As you can see, we're also researching automatic machine gun. Not sure whether we are going to be using this. This right here is what really matters. We're going to pump up our barracks and then go in. Alright, we're still currently waiting for this to be finished, because I need to be positive when it comes to bureaucracy if we don't want to get screwed over by, for example, embargoes and such. But I actually think this might be the perfect situation in which we would go to war. First of all, our build-up has been insane. I cannot afford this. No proper society can afford this. Look at this standard of living. Yeah, it's not getting any better, okay? But Prussia has just joined this Diplo play, which means that we should be safe when it comes to our attack on Austria. Honestly, I'm not entirely certain, but I'm gonna let this stuff be built, or at the very least these bureaucracy, these government administrations, and honestly, I think we might just go in. This is a very, very important war. And look at that, yeah, they just sided with all these people, which means that they will be busy, and they're fighting Britain with this. Now, Britain isn't our strongest ally, quite literally, we aren't allies, but honestly, this is our shot, isn't it? Okay, here's what we're gonna do. First of all, I hate this, but here's what we're gonna do. We are going to go and declare war against Austria-Hungary. Man, I hope you're not. I hope I'm not making a huge mistake here. But we're gonna declare this war. And then we're gonna take a look at what is actually going on here. Russia is leaning towards Hungary. You are kidding me. Oh, you are out of your mind. Okay. I would also like to liberate... Where are they? Hungary. If we liberate Hungary and take Vienna, we split them in two, and Austria-Hungary is essentially over. It might take some more time, but they are virtually over. And what do you mean Prussia swayed? Right, okay, no, I don't care about this. I really hope that Russia doesn't get into this. That could be terrible. Anyway, let's start mobilizing right here and see what we can do. And you know what? I'm not gonna invite Switzerland, because they would just lose, and this opens up another front. They have 10 troops, come on, they're not useful. I will invite Sardinia-Piedmont in return for Lombardy. Why wouldn't I, right? Let's see what we can do about this. France doesn't seem too inclined to join this. I hate that Russia is willing to jump into this. Please don't do it. Oh no! And Prussia did actually side with them. So now I'm in a whole lot of trouble. Are we the only frontline that Prussia has? I don't think they actually have a frontline here, do they? Wait, are they in this war for Mecklenburg? Let me just double check this, right? What are you in, Prussia? My god, there's too many Diplo plays in this region that all popped up at once. So they are in the war for Brunswick, so they do have more than one frontline. They are not in this war, meaning that in their main war against Denmark and Britain, they don't actually have a frontline unless they're bringing stuff over there. Listen, here's all we can do, right? We can defend, we can attempt to defend the region over there. I need our best defensive general. The main thing that we can do, the strongest thing that is currently in our power, I think, is attacking into Austria. This stalwart defender goes up there, and everybody else has to attack. If I take Vienna, this is it. I can basically sneak this in. And you know what, now that I'm thinking about this, I know exactly what happened here, right? Oh, you're not mobilized. I know exactly what happened here, right? They offered them, yep, German leadership. That's not good. That is very, very bad. If we lose this, it could have terrible consequences for us, for sure. Man, I'm so scared because we're already infamous. But do you think I can sneak something else in here? So we're currently liberating Hungary, as well as Croatia, and technically are giving Lombardia to Sardinia-Piedmont. But I'll be honest with you, I think they're gonna lose and just become a protectorate. Don't worry about it, okay? That's not our problem right here. I'm afraid somebody else will join in, but honestly, if I could claim, let's say, Bohemia right now, that would be amazing. Bohemia is a center of GDP. Look at that, yeah. I think I'm gonna do it. Let's hope that nobody else joins in this short break that we have. 4 days, come on. Stop, don't invite anybody. Just... Okay. If we can push through here, then we get Bohemia and Austria, and it would be gorgeous. Can we do it? I don't know. I have a couple of conscripts going as well, just to fill up the slots right here. With the supremacy that we currently have at this front line, I might be able... I don't like this at all, though. I might have to switch somebody away from here, honestly. Yeah, I'm not sure. Okay, I have good news and I have bad news. The good news is we really caught them with their pants down. The bad news is they really caught us with our pants down. I don't think we're gonna hold here. My hope is just that they don't make it into Bavaria. That is the only location that matters, that we need to hold. And I hope that we can win this, because then we can switch to defense in this front, and it would be enough. We can potentially peace out Austria-Hungary. My god. I would be so thankful. Alright, and yeah, as expected, let's just take a look at what is going on here, right? We are having this battle. It's going to be a loss. We are depending on this not actually taking too much land, and we are depending on this taking at least a single tile in Austria. But this is going to be a victory, and it might be a victory. No, I think they're going to roughly end at the same time, maybe a week or two apart. But we then will switch everybody here into defense. I already moved a general over here, and now it's just holding. If this works out the way I intended to. Oh my god, we took so much land. Would you look at that? Okay. That's a lot of land. I thought we would take like 3-4 tiles. Oh god, wait a minute. How many tiles are they gonna take then? That is a big counter question right here. Oh, and I'm just seeing. Okay, I need to work this out. We cannot have shortages. It would be the worst case scenario. Surely, somehow, I can actually make sure that we get this done, right? We need to. We cannot have shortages. It's just not possible. Oh, you know what? I think if I stop you from actually... Oh, you're not even using it? Oh, no. Oh, it's this stuff, right. If I dial down how much skirmish infantry is actually being used here, we could be good. We could be golden. Oh my god, they took so much land. They're straight coming from Munich. I need to... No. We need to switch around. You need to go over here, buddy. We need to defend this very, very desperately. Now, might they attack here? Yep, they will. We gotta play time. We gotta play time. It's our only shot. And oh my god. The definition of the word close is definitely this. Look at that. We are pushing them back here, and then here. Look at the battle conditions. Jesus Christ. But we're winning, because their morale loss is simply higher. What are your stats here? You're not a great general, General Edmund Hoffmann, but I'll take it. And then General Emil Brandt. I mean, they're doing it. They're doing it. We need to hold. We need to simply keep holding. All right, look. So this battle here will soon be over. We have a massive numeric advantage right here. Sure, we are inferior because our actual mobilized troops aren't that great, but we're holding. We are also holding here, and the battle that we had in this general area right here actually wore them down to giving us a numeric advantage here as well. We just need to hold the line. My god, this is certainly a cost of war. Jesus Christ. But if we succeed, I'm just saying, if we do. Okay, yeah, look at this. We're winning this battle as well here. They have yet again attacked us because, well, we're basically looking at a situation where they have more battalions and show up with a lot more battalions, but their battalions are virtually half empty. Look at this. We can refresh our troops. They are struggling to get it done, and we're largely fighting here with skirmish infantry, so having a numeric disadvantage is actually quite nice here. Now up here, I'm honestly kind of afraid what will happen after this battle is over. We did, of course, retake some land, but the next attack definitely won't be waiting for long. Oh, but we got it. Okay, I'm confident. We can do this. We will push them out of Franconia. Sardinia-Piedmont might fall, but what does it matter if Austria-Hungary split anyway? This is an incredible victory. I am borderline bankrupt. I might actually go bankrupt, because even if this ends, like if we defeat Austria-Hungary, we will be looking at a situation where Prussia might stay in the war. We'll have to see. I simply need to win. That is all I care for. Okay, every second... I think... No, actually, we definitely have it. Because even now that they have more troops, we are in a position where these battles last for long enough. Yeah, they're going to tick down. We win. You lose. And would you look at that, they are coming straight from Munich now, and I will actually tell you, I'm not convinced that we would lose this, just because we are just defeating them in such a much more efficient fashion, but either way, it doesn't actually matter. Check this out, right? 92.2, and in just 2 ticks, we will be at minus 100, and it will be disgusting. Don't worry about it. Yep, there you go. Oh my god. We have split Austria-Hungary. Austria-Hungary essentially doesn't exist anymore. It's over for them. I'm gonna accept this peace deal, obviously. And that's... Oh my god. Now, don't get it twisted. These are horrible, horrible borders, but it actually does not matter. Austria-Hungary is done, and it's done forever. Their economy will completely plummet. If we just take a look at it, they have their capital in Pressburg now, which is sadly why Hungary didn't get this. Well, it is what it is. But what this means is this entire thing is unsupplied. They cannot bring their troops there. They cannot do anything here. Meaning, should ever anybody come in, like myself, for example, and take these provinces, we can simply clean up. Italy could simply clean up, and I would wager Sardinia-Piedmont won't stay a puppet forever. Incredible. I can't believe it, but I'm going to be honest with you. Johann von Göritz is the greatest German to ever live. He has unified the South German Federation beyond any wildest imagination that I may have had. We're going to clean this up in the next decades. Austria-Hungary is no more. Instead, Croatia and indeed Hungary itself are rising up. I would absolutely adore an alliance right here with Hungary. Let's see where this goes right now. I'm going to leave you here. This has been absolutely mad so far, and I'm loving it. I will see you later, alligator.